right, so we got our list. Problem herein lies when you get into something like this, it's always the chronological order. So we're trying to figure that out right now. You got a plan?
We got a plan. So in order to get this into here, we're going to, this is the main structural cross member of the car, and this stuff is super solid for the size of the car. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut all along here, and we're gonna follow this joint here and just cut out this whole section. And then we're gonna put a main hoop in, and then we'll see how this looks in there, and then we'll tie the main hoop into all that business. So
yeah, so even if we completely gut this and it's like basically like a taco,
yeah,
we can be able to put some support back in there with some bars and stuff that we
100%.
So.
Yeah, that's the plan.
And I mean, we do need a bunch of space because the intake manifold does swing out a bit, and where we need to put the turbo and the exhaust manifold and all that is kind of, it hangs out there a little bit.
Yeah, but less is more in this, so the less we have to work around, the better off we'll be and the easier it'll be to...
I'm actually pretty pumped to watch you cut this thing up, though.
Yeah,
Let's make it happen.
You get an opportunity to cut apart a perfectly good car, so...
All right, so Georgie already just pulled the fuel tank and we're getting ready to put in our big old pump. Now, Brent, we got to ask you here real quick here. This guy, so this is a Walbro 485, and how far can we take that guy right there?
We'll take it plenty far. I mean, I've gone, like I said, mid 700s with one of these, so you can definitely do it.
Hell yeah, man. On so we got our Aeromotive with a return style regulator boost reference, obviously. We're gonna be able to plumb that all in. That should be able to get us way beyond the power of what we really want to be able to make.
Yeah.
All right, and so furthermore on the same fuel situation here.
Yep.
So we got our 2200cc injectors, which you showed us, but we're gonna run the factory rail. We'll clean this guy up. We just got to weld on, what was it? It was a dash 6.
Dash
that looks
6,
like
yeah.
So that looks like a 5/16.
Yeah, 5/16, and you could just get the push-on deal if you got any of those laying around, and then I'll put the injectors in it, polish this up, put her back on, and let her go.
All right, brother.
Yeah.
Let's do it, man.
Let's go.
Hey, Ben, here we got a special on smart cars.
Yeah.
Everything must go.
Everything must go. Buy one, get nothing free.
So we're making the outline of everything that's getting cut out.
Yep. It's like a adult game of operation, you know?
I am really enjoying this, honestly.
Yeah.
Deeply satisfying.
I was all excited this morning. I couldn't sleep. I was just thinking.
I couldn't sleep last night myself.
It was like 6 in the morning. I was like, oh, what can we do that would be, you know?
I think it was like 3 in the morning and I was still awake. So I wasn't even on puppy duty last night. All right, so we're all about this recycling here. So tell us a little bit what you got planned here.
Looking here to see what I need to convert this to dash 3, I was like, well, you know, we have some fittings. We already have a coupler that somebody spliced in here. So I'll be able to just take some of this, move the fitting down to where we need it, reflare it, use the coupler they have, add in our length of line that we need, and then just add one more coupler.
Oh yeah, man. I'm all about recycling there. As much as we can possibly use off this pig, that would be great.
That'd be wonderful. Always recycling.
Trying to keep the cost down.
That's it, man.
I thought it was like,
Building on a budget.
I think we're set on the clutch. We just need the pedal situation figured out.
Okay.
Make things happen.
Making it happen.
That's it.
Matches the shirt. You did that on purpose, didn't you?
On purpose.
This might not be a big block or an LS, but it has the potential to make beyond that power. And we're doing it in a very reasonable, very economic package. And we got some pretty awesome late model technology.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna fly.
Gas mileage too.
Hell yeah.
That's what, you know, VTEC itself is basically, you have two different engines. You have a low cam engine, so you get your good gas mileage, you got your drivability. And then when we hit that VTEC solenoid and we turn VTEC on, we go to a big cam lobe that just makes it rip. So it's awesome. Once you just blend it, it becomes like this seamless.
Okay, so let's get nerdy here real quick here. So if we were talking duration at 50,000, so you got a stock cam that's like something like 210 degrees or something like that. It's like a silky smooth little pussycat cam. And then VTEC solenoid comes on, you hit your VTEC lobe, you're talking like 270, 280 degree.
Yeah, S2000 is 299.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah,
so
this is good stuff.
Hence why they can run the RPMs what they can run. And guys, this cylinder head, like I stuck my fingers in that cylinder head and was checking everything, and I was like, there's not really any low-hanging fruit there. This thing
315 CFM, usually a 500 lift.
I was like, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah,
like
awesome.
we're not even gonna touch the cylinder head. I mean, maybe later on down the road, but it's a great cylinder head.
Yeah,
it is a phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal flowing cylinder head. And I don't see any immediate way to improve it other than just making it larger. And I have no interest in doing that because we have an air
built for efficiency, so it's good.
we got a turbo to do all of what we need. So I think we're gonna far exceed the power of what we need with this thing, but I just love the nerdy details of what we can be able to do.
Yeah.
I so want to carve that. Boost control, two-step, freaking rolling anti-lag. A while back, we did a video with a C7 Z06 with rolling anti-lag, and it was set on a Motec. And after I had really experienced rolling anti-lag on something that was, you know, 800, 900 wheel horsepower, I was like, that's it. I need that in my life.
Yeah.
And if we're on something that's half the weight and we make half the power, I think it's gonna feel just about the same.
That's how it works. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. This is gonna be a wild build. So y'all stay tuned. We'll catch up a little bit later.
We have those kits.
Sure.
Or we can make it just a tab and a tube. And then two tabs on each side.
You know that freaking wheel well right there.
It's easy enough.
And then the master just this way.
Yeah. That'll work.
And then we just.
It's gonna be real close. That we might have to move that brake.
That's why I didn't
over.
know if, you know, because we could slot it and put that slot underneath to put the master under the car and then have the line that way. And then it's just a pedal too.
40 Chevy was.
Yeah.
Can we flip that pad on that pedal, like to put it
Yeah,
on the
we
right
can
side?
we can cut
Or
it,
you can cut it
weld
and
it,
just put the
bend
tab
it.
off the side. Yeah.
This is a PLM Sidewinder manifold. Now this thing was hard to come by. I think this is the last retail one that I could find in the country, and it is doing everything that we want it to be able to do. That's a T3 right there, and that's gonna go right to our turbo of what we got from PFI. Really, really nice. Now there was a couple areas that were a little bit off. So Georgie?
Yeah, we cleaned it up a lot, had some misaligned parts, but we just cleaned it right up, no big deal at all. Now she's gonna flow like it ain't no man's business. And right here too.
Yeah, a couple of these ports were just off a smidge, and we cleaned them up, just port matched it a little bit better, and that's a super thick flange, dude.
It's crazy,
nice.
right?
That is a
This thing's
really
like
high quality part, for
super
sure.
high quality.
That thing weighs about twice as much as the intake manifold. I mean, the thickness of the pipes is so serious too, man. We definitely know that this thing's gonna be able to take a lot of heat without any sort of even worry of cracking whatsoever.
Yep, she's gonna flow real good too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's coming out good, but what about going in?
Intake manifold right here. We're going to be able to open this thing up a little bit, and honestly, the ports look really, really good.
Yeah, they do.
Over at Fasterproms, we do specialize in porting, and we've been running a porting business for well over about 15 years. What is so impressive about this Honda is that it doesn't look like there's a lot of low-hanging fruit with any sort of porting. Now, we might be able to do a couple things here and there, but we're just going to clean up the runners a little bit. There's a little itty-bitty catch your finger right there, so we're going to clean that up a little bit, but opening up where the throttle body flange is really all we're about after right now. I'm going to clean up the cylinder head a little bit later. But guys, these ports look so good. It's really going to be tough to improve upon that. I certainly do believe that if we ported the head, we could be able to pick up some power, but is it worth it at the moment? Not at the moment.
So we're porting this thing up. Is it true, man? You're trying to put an LS throttle body on this here case wall?
Absolutely.
So it can really
We got
be
some stuff on the
flowing
shelf, so we're gonna clean this thing up. This is right now is the ugly duckling of everything that we have going on there. So, all right, so guys, we had to have a mechanical throttle body because we are putting an O2 RSX Type S harness on there. So in order to do that, we wanted to run the LS1 throttle body because we had one lying around. Plus, we're an LS1 shop, you know?
Exactly. So this is about how big we need to be. So we're gonna open that baby up, maybe weld some kind of spacer on there, right?
Yeah. So we're either
Adapt
gonna
and
weld a
overcome?
pipe, adapt and overcome. We're definitely gonna do that. But we need to build a flange. So right here, Ben is gonna go ahead and trace this out. We'll be able to build this flange out of aluminum, and we're gonna be able to stick it on our intake manifold. So, Georgie, we'll follow you to the porting room and do your worst.
Right this way.
All right, brother, you've been busy. Everybody's been busy. I've been doing some dyno tuning, and Brent actually has some really awesome coverage because it's a totally different perspective, and we've
been having fun.
I like it. I think that it's going to really cover a different side of this whole build. You'll be able to see both of our perspectives on this. Georgie, you've been tearing this up, man. So I know you're struggling with that for a little while, but man, we got the pump
put
in.
that big old jumbo, what is it, 485?
Yeah, Walbro.
Big old fuel pump in there.
In a wee little space.
SmartCar little 10-gallon tank. But we got it in there. That's gonna be our feed right there. The old one's gonna be our return. We'll have a little vent plugged off, and
We got most of the fuel system figured out though, so that's a plus.
the fuel rail, dude.
Yeah, so Brent got the injectors in
Got a
there.
rusty
Those
old
were
fuel rail.
2200 cc's,
Yep.
right? And Georgie, you ported that up. We showed
spacers
that a
in
little
there.
earlier. Spacers look wicked
Put a little
good,
paint
man.
job on it. Oh,
Those are the spacers.
The spacers, ding, 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 ding. And I
then we
know,
moved on to the motor.
yeah. So
We're
Brent
gonna
had.
take this head off and port it real quick.
No.
All right, not yet.
We want to, but we're just gonna leave it. This
Well, we just cleaned it up. Look how clean it is, dude. It came so
Yeah.
clean. Seen you in there all degreasing her and whatnot.
Yeah, I walked by it a couple times. I had to stick my fingers in there, and I was like, I really wanted to clean that. And George went to town.
Brent pressure
washed it. It's looking a ton better than what it was.
Good, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Got a no, that's called transaxle.
Transaxle.
Transaxle. We got our half shaft right there. I pulled that off there too. I'm pretty much a Honda guy now. So anything you need to know, just ask me. I'll ask Brent, then I'll tell you.
You know it, George.
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right, so we got our clutch getting ready to go in, and tomorrow, I guess, Brent, you're gonna take on welding up the diff and
Yeah, I
dude,
threw our old clutch in a dumpster. I wish it would have waited, but it was rough.
yeah.
It's really, really rough.
Oh man, I kind of want to take a look at it though.
I'll go dumpster diving.
All right, cool.
You talk to them. I'll be back.
All right, Elias. So fill us in on some of the stuff you got going on, dude. We got a hole right in there.
Fred Flintstone. Stick your feet out.
Yeah, dude, it is.
You slow this thing down. So we were attempting the first time around to do individual throttle pedal, use a factory brake and clutch pedal, and we came into a hard time with the clutch pedal, trying to get it in between the brake and the frame rail. So Brent had the idea of, let's ditch that factory brake.
Okay.
We're going to do a box underneath the bottom ourselves and have all three pedals. Just do our own gas pedal off of this.
It's so weird. That little bubble right here is the brake booster right there.
That
It's
is the brake
it's
booster.
right down in there. We had it. It's such an odd spot for
It
it.
is super odd.
Let's raise it up here.
All right.
Yeah, you'll get a good perspective of what we got planned. This is really cool. This is gonna turn out really good. Oh yeah. It is.
It's
Wow, that is just hanging there.
yeah,
It
it's
is.
there. Pressure.
He's got some pressure on it. There's light.
So, and come up here, support our bar on this side, come up here with a bracket that's removable. This is just gonna get welded in, and I think we're gonna take the brake booster and slide it over instead of trying to relocate there, and then we can put the clutch master
I like the solution, man.
right underneath the car. We'll have a little cap in the floorboard for the reservoir.
That's
like
cool.
Old school.
That's
and
cool.
then we're gonna just use some pipe like this and go up with a gas pedal right there.
That's the only spot there's space.
It really seems that way, honestly. Everything upstairs is all business, you know.
Yeah.
We'll keep your belly pan for aerodynamics. We know how you...
Awesome.
That's how we'll keep the dust down.
Oh man, that's a few. Oh wow, yeah, yeah,
Few hot spots.
yeah. So hey, and Ben, you've been really busy with the bar, man. This thing is.
Yeah.
He's been crushing it.
My goal today, I wanted to get the main hoop in.
And there she
So-
lies.
We wound up being able to get the subframe to fit, the whole rear end of the car cut out. All right, so I had this idea while I was walking around today that we need to space out from underneath the stock crossmember. We need to space out approximately 3 inches as of what we've seen so far. So I was thinking we can drill a hole right through here, right through and through, and this will act as our spacer. So the main hoop will act as our spacer, and then we can we'll box it in, gusset it with 1/8 inch plate and all sorts of stuff. So that's what I'm thinking. So in reality, this will stop right here, but go through, and it will be as strong as anything.
And honestly, while I'm out there dyno tuning some, you just whip this thing up and.
Yeah, we made a cardboard template because it gives me a visual, and if it fits within the cardboard template, it's gonna fit in the car. So I'm not running around and trying to do all sorts of stuff. Furthermore, it acts as a template for our firewall situation. So
Yeah.
now we just save that, and we can make our firewall based on that. So kills 2 birds at once.
By putting the bar through there, you're really just trying to tie everything all back together.
Yeah, I was originally just gonna plate underneath because this is, actually this SmartCar is, I'd say it's twice the thickness of steel as opposed to most unibody cars.
Yeah, like what we were doing with the Miata, you were saying it was right around
Yeah,
there.
like it welded. It didn't burn through really at all.
And honestly, we got to give a great big shout out here to Peter from HTP hooking us up with this, man. This is gorgeous, man.
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
awesome. We got it dialed
It is
in.
really, really well set up, man.
So yeah, that's what I'm thinking for tomorrow. We'll get this drilled, and then we'll leave a little length in the bottom. And now that the motor's off the subframe, we'll toss the subframe in. And
We've had some major modifications with this too. I mean, the fact that you box that in and it fits in between the frame rails is just wicked, man.
we have about a 1/4 inch on each side.
Nice.
So
Engine mount. Hey, you knocked out that engine mount.
Yeah, the engine mount is really pretty cool.
Yep. So that gives us the clearance from this factory crossmember.
Yeah,
I didn't want to alter that too much. I'm sure we'll do some sort of stiffening there, but as of now, that gives us a lot of room.
Awesome, man.
So yeah,
You guys are
big-
really making some awesome progress, so definitely good
big
job.
day today.
Now we get some tire clearance, man. That's awesome. Taking over.
Let's do it.
Yeah, man. So hold up, I gotta ask you real quick here. How much roundy round experience do you have?
Not at all.
None. Have you driven a
No,
Crown
I'm
Vic
just
before?
joking. I've done a lot of circle track.
Oh, this guy's a ringer. That's right.
I raced Legends before.
Okay, dude. So you might, you actually might be a favorite.
Yeah, I grew up racing go-karts and then
Underdog favorite. That's what I'm calling you.
All right.
All right. I'm all about underdog racing, brother. Emilio, any roundy round experience?
At that little go-kart track in Texas.
Oh, yeah? Okay, so next question, though. Have you driven a Crown Vic before?
Crown Vic. I haven't. I mean, I've driven a Crown Vic, but not like raced it or anything.
Okay, right in the back seat.
I mean, okay. Yeah, I haven't. Not too much.
A couple of times. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go hit this up, man.
All right.
All right, Mr. Ben.
Yes.
Been crafting
Yes.
metallurgic magic. All right, so you just said you had attacked these guys right now, and we're talking about how we gotta figure out if it's square and our wheelbase and depth.
Yeah. Start off by just getting a visual, because I know you wanted it back approximately 4 to 6 inches from where it was. So we'll try to get that in the ballpark and see how it looks. But at this point, we need to figure out, these are the bolts it came with. Unfortunately, there's a lot of slop on these. There's ×4, so when you get 4 of them up, it's probably not that bad. So I'm thinking I might grab some new bolts so there's not as much play, that fill that collar a little bit better.
Okay.
And then we have to figure out how to reinforce the tube. So probably either a super long bolt, and I'll drop a piece of tubing in here and weld it so this can't crush type situation, or something else that I haven't thought of yet.
Or possibly a solution that we haven't thought of. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that. Gotcha. So we can't fasten the back, obviously, until we have our fore and aft, obviously, figured out. So I guess we could do this. We got to find a fixed point, and we were trying to find our wheelbase, make sure it's the same on either side, and it's, like I said, we just need to get it square.
Yeah, I mean, what we'd probably do is measure from the knuckle center to the front wheel, and that way we can get our wheelbase exact, and then go from there. You got our subframe spacers and adapters pretty much finished. They're tacked in place now. So if you want to come and check it out, we got 8-inch bolts that go through 2x4 tubing. We braced it with a piece of round tubing, so it supports the actual 2x4.
So no squish. I like the idea.
No squish. And then, so what we did is we notched the tubing, and this will weld to our main hoop, and we'll brace it. So it's all tied into the main hoop, and the main hoop's also going to support the back of the subframe as well, and the whole deal. So
definitely a lot more strength with effectively more contact areas, you know.
yes, and it gives us the setback. We're at 70, what do we say, 79 inches of wheelbase.
Yeah. So we almost got our 6-inch extended wheelbase right there, which is really what we're hoping for a little bit more high-speed stability.
And
should be rocking, man.
yeah, we gotta drop this, weld it up, put the motor in, and then we'll be able to start figuring out suspension points and supporting the rear of the subframe.
Can't wait to see that in there, man. All right, and so Laz, you're basically just trying to get it.
I'm just making it where we can lift it up off the training jack, have the cradle hanging here. We can do a cross measurement to make sure everything's square, as close as we can get it that way. And I've just been, in the meantime, playing with the pedals and figuring out how to get that clutch pedal bent over.
All right, and so we had a plan here as far as with our tie rod here. We need to keep this guy so the toe is solid, but yet still adjustable. And so you were talking about using some DOM.
Yeah, I was thinking we'll just clean this up, and we will weld a piece of DOM tubing around the end of the tie rod end, and then we'll get it close, the toe pretty close, and we'll just weld it to the subframe, and then we'll still have our factory adjustment all in the tie rod end here.
So I like it. Recycling at its finest. Dude, this thing is so stripped down. I can't wait to weigh this thing again, man. So Laz, with the pedals, what kind of problems have you been having so far?
Friday we had a lot of issues with the brake pedal being everything underneath the floorboard, the master and the booster under the floorboard. It had this box, and there was no room on the left side of the box between it and the frame rail to put anything for the clutch coming up through there. There's not really room on the firewall to hang anything coming down.
Now, were we talking about putting kind of like a little like dog leg or something on the brake booster?
Possibly just the mounting point on the bottom of the pedal is going to be dog-legged a little bit.
Gotcha.
But then the clutch pedal, we're going to have to dog-leg the whole pedal up and over.
Okay.
And we should be able to put the clutch master in between the frame of the car and the brake booster linkage. So
Sweet.
It'll work out. We're just going to have one solid pivot point underneath the car and the 3 pedals coming up front.
Gotcha. So that's where we were having that bar, and it was just kind of rotating on the bar, if you guys had seen that a little bit earlier.
It's really only made for 2 pedals.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room there. That wheel well makes it extremely difficult to try and get anything over there. So, and I mean, you've got the frame rail going down right in between it, right about there. Yeah, so it's just
a big box.
An extra degree of difficulty, but we will adapt and overcome. That looks so crazy.
It is crazy.
Are we sitting on that one yet?
Got maybe like 2 inches. All right, hold on. I'm on the.
And I'm on the body here.
That'll be like the ride height, probably.
Oh, stance life right there. That is freaking wild, man. Oh, dude, the shot from right here is pretty sick, though. You got to see that junk. Those wheels are gargantuan on this thing.
They're pretty big.
Where's that back up flow? What? Where's that cut up flow?
Is next step putting the motor back in and just seeing what you got to deal with, or?
Yep, we got to put the motor, and we just slap the transmission on with like a bolt or two, just to make sure we can clearance everything. And that's really the goal now, because we're going to now figure out how to mount the subframe to the roll bar and to get the suspension mounted, essentially.
Operating arms and shock mounts.
Yep, and all that stuff.
Chipping away at it,
Moving
man.
forward,
For sure.
The front part was that turned out really good. So
Yeah. It's gonna be really awesome once it's rolling.
yeah, dude.
You're only seeing that far away.
I think you're right on with where you want to cut off, though, too, man.
That's what I was thinking.
This is really good. I think that's just a little too far, but just that mount and beyond, yeah, I think it's pretty tasteful.
Yeah.
Who knows, Brent? What do you say, man? Is it gonna need a wheelie bar or what? Or like maybe a little something?
Yeah, we'll welcome a wheelie bar.
A limiter.
Seen the MR2. I mean,
With
it's
a
half the weight
much,
and half the power.
much longer wheelbase, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's going up.
No, I've definitely seen that junk, man. That's
That is
crazy. That's gonna be a hell of a ride.
It's yours.
Dude.
It actually looks really good from the side, honestly. It's not far off, you know.
Yeah.
Make those adjustments, things will really start to take shape and actually look pretty good.
That's exactly it too, as you said, take shape, because
Yeah.
it's such like I don't want to say formless, but it's like we've got so many different paths to take, and once you go down that path, you kind of
it's
pursue
not
it.
like there's an instruction booklet to tell you how to put it all together. So you kind of take it piece by piece and hope it all works out in the end.
There's no hoping, it's working.
It's gonna work, yeah, man. We're surrounded by good people. We're definitely gonna make the right decisions here.
Yeah, this is great.
Guys, we are making some major progress on this fast-paced build, and every day it's a little bit closer for me learning some Honda stuff from this guy. I can't wait. It's gonna it's gonna be so cool.
We're gonna have fun.
So check out his channel. He's gonna be uploading some things of a totally different perspective, and it's gonna have a lot of your input of what you're putting in, mechanically and idea-wise, and so on and so forth. You guys are gonna love it. All right, so this is a little bit different here. We're throwing it to Brent this time here. So you pick the song, buddy.
All right, I picked Bro Him by Pennywise.
All right, I like it. Definitely
I
some
do too.
red punk going.
Yeah, I jam out for sure.
All right, and I'm also going to say, hey, look, check out Ryan Stevenson, The Gospel. We definitely need some uplifting stuff in this crazy times.
Yeah.
We're going to stick it out.
And we stick together like bros, man.
All right, man. This is going to be
It's
awesome. I can't wait. Stay tuned. We'll see you next time. God bless you guys. Oh!